Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota.
I'm Jerry Snodgrass, Executive Director of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One of my long-standing goals is to help people understand that high school sports are about so much more than wins and losses. The OHSAA promotes education-based athletics, where sports are an extension of the classroom. Our schools all want to win, but at the end of the day, it's all about sportsmanship, leadership, and making sure that academics are a priority. Thank you for your support of high school sports.
Hello, Butler County High School sports enthusiasts. You're dialed in to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Report Network. We're live here at New Miami High School, where it is the Lockland Panthers taking on the New Miami Vikings in a girls basketball contest, Miami Valley Conference contest. I'm Chris Vogt. I'll be leading the way. I'm going to give Joey the day off today. He's a busy man, as we all are during this time of the year. Lockland coming into this contest with one win, as the New Miami Vikings are trying to get their first win of the season. They're sitting at 0-2, and Lockland is at 1-4. Starters for the New Miami Vikings are Lexi Bell. She's a freshman guard. Lexi Field, she's a junior postman. And Caitlin Bowling is a sophomore guard. Brooklyn Adams is a guard. She's also a sophomore. Jessie Trent's a senior forward. And for the Lockland Panthers, Anaya Roundtree, she's a junior guard. Ian Cunningham, she's a junior guard. Jada Ratliff is a senior forward. Tia Costanzo, she is a junior forward, and Giuliani Goldson is a junior guard. And Lockland is already up to a 4-0 lead. If you're just tuning in, I'm Chris Vogt. I want to thank Athletic Director Eric Hayes from New Miami for hooking us up with prime seating for this contest. Ian Cunningham dribbling down the court and tries to put up a shot, but is off the mark. Roundtree, and that's stolen by number 22, Caitlin Bowling. And tosses it on over to number 40, and that's Brooklyn Adams. And we're going to head back the other way here for Lockland. And that's number 3, Cunningham. Cunningham dishes it on over to Costanzo, and Costanzo hits Roundtree, and that shot's off the mark, and here comes the New Miami Vikings. Doing most of their dribbling will be Lexi Bell. And Roundtree's going to toss one up, and that's in. 6-0. Lockland on top of New Miami. Tia Costanzo over to. It's a nice shot from New Miami's Caitlin Bowling off the mark, and here comes Lockland down the other way. Toss on over to Costanzo, and she couldn't handle that one, and that's going to be New Miami's ball heading this way. And New Miami is coached by Ashley. It's coached by Ashley Risen, and they're going to take a timeout. New Miami is trailing 6-0 against Lockland. You're watching the Butler County High School Sports Report Network.
I'm Jerry Snodgrass, Executive Director of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One of my long-standing goals is to help people understand that high school sports are about so much more than wins and losses. The OHSAA promotes education.
Welcome back to New Miami. Pardon us, we have some technical difficulties with some of the sound. Thanks for your patience here. Number 11, Jada Ratliff, off the mark. Lockland gets themselves another shot here. On over to Cunningham. Cunningham stops, and she walks. And too much happy feet there for Lockland's Cunningham, and New Miami's going to get themselves an opportunity to put their first points on the board. Lexi Field takes it to the hoop, and that's off the mark. Hits the bottom of the backboard. Back out to number 22. That is Caitlin Bowling, whose shot was off the mark there. Here comes Lockland making a push. Lexi Bell gets a nice poke on the ball, but it's regained by Lockland. And that's a bank by number 22, Tia Costanzo. And New Miami's 22, Caitlin Bowen, steps in the line as she tosses that one in, and that's going to hand the ball over to Lockland. Nice shot by number 3, just off the mark, and that was Cunningham. Going to be foul on number 3. Lexi Bell dishes it back out to number 24, Abby Kalash. Brooklyn Adams' shot is off the mark, and here comes Lockland back the other way here, number 22, and that's Tia Costanzo. Tia Costanzo dishes it to number 11, Jada Ratliff, and that's going to be rebounded by number 24 from New Miami. And that's a dead ball, jump ball, and that's going to be New Miami's possession. Jasmine Roberts tosses in 2, and that gives Lockland a 10-0 lead over New Miami. Tia Costanzo gets a and one opportunity and barely misses the rim there, and New Miami regains possession. 12-0 Lockland. If you're just tuning in, New Miami looking to get their first win of the season. Lockland is sitting at 1-3. Nice dish underneath the 24. That's Abby Kalash. And Abby gets herself another rebound here, and we're going to push it back the other way as New Miami. Caitlin Boland calling a play here. Sierra Ivy drives to the hoop, and she's going to get herself an opportunity to put 2 points on the board. She'll see 2 shots at the foul line. Foul on number 11, Jada Ratliff for Lockland. Jada Ratliff knocks down 2. And that gives New Miami their first 2 points on the board. Fouls on Abby Kalash for New Miami. Tia Costanzo with 2 shots at the foul line. First one's in. Second one's in. Pushes the Lockland lead to 14-2, pardon me. Lockland putting on the pressure here. Back the other way is Jasmine Roberts. And that's a blocking foul on New Miami's Caitlin Bowling. Ian Cunningham shots off the mark, and here comes New Miami. Rebound by Kalash. And Caitlin Bowling's pass, she tried to hit number 21, Sierra Ivy, and that was just above the outstretched arms of Ivy there. Reaching 2:30 left to go in this first quarter. And Costanzo is going to be called for travel on that one. Lexi Field's shot is off the mark for New Miami. They're going to call a blocking foul on Anaya Roundtree. And that's going to be Lockland's third team foul. Quick dish to Lexi Bell underneath. Tosses up a shot off the rim and rebounded by Lexi Field, who she puts up a shot, and that's off the backboard. And here comes Lockland on a transition. Knocked out of bounds by Kalash. And Lockland's going to call a timeout here. We're going to take a quick break here watching the Butler County High School Sports Reports Network.
We'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Performance Toyota, located on Route 4 in Fairfield. Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota. Matandi Steel and Metal Products, a proud sponsor of Baden Athletics. SuccessPhoto.com, providing memorable images of Butler County's high school student athletes. C3 Contracting, pole barns and garages built by C3 Contracting. Call 513-519-4656 today for a complimentary quote on your next building product, serving all of Butler County. Minix Drive-Thru, providing speedy, convenient service throughout many locations in Butler County. Minix Drive-Thru. Bird's Grill and Bar, located in Fairfield's Village Green, our Fan of the Day sponsor.
All right, Lockland sitting with a 14-2 lead over New Miami, and New Miami's putting on some defense there and forces a turnover. And toss underneath from Caitlin Bowling underneath to Abby Kalish, and that's out of bounds, and Lockland's going to get themselves regained of the possession there. Under 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Both programs coming into this one looking to get a little bit of momentum going. New Miami still looking for their first win, as Lockland coming in at 1-3. Some defensive pressure by Cunningham forces a turnover. And that's off the arms of Jasmine Roberts. The dish from Cunningham was had a little too much mustard on that one. As was that one from Sierra Ivy. And Sierra Ivy has two of the New Miami Viking points. We're looking at 14-2 Lockland over the Vikings. Drive to the hoop was Costanzo. And looks like New Miami's going to get the jump ball on that one. New Miami looking to do a little bit of press beating here. Caitlin Boland dishes it in to Sierra Ivy. Sierra Ivy underneath the Lexi Field, and that's going to be a reach in on Anaya Roundtree. Hitting the minute mark of this first quarter. Lockland up on top of New Miami, 14-2. Want to thank you for tuning in. Appreciate New Miami Athletic Director bending over backwards to make sure that we'd be able to get here and provide some coverage of this Miami Valley Conference contest. Tipped out of bounds. Regain possession for New Miami. Lockland is coached by Charles Bowling. And that shot's off the mark from number 22, Caitlin Bowling. And back comes Lockland. Cunningham shot off the mark, but Jada Ratliff puts her in, and they're at 16-2 as we approach the half-minute mark of this first quarter. And Caitlin Boland's shot for New Miami is off the top of the rim. Looks like Lockland's going to get this last shot of this quarter. And it's a reach in by Caitlin Bowling of New Miami. And that's New Miami's fourth team foul. Bowling's second. Costanzo couldn't latch onto that pass from Cunningham, and New Miami is going to be pushing it the other direction as we're reaching 10 seconds left to go in this first quarter. The final shot from Sierra Ivy is off the mark, and we're going to head into the second quarter, and Lockland up 16-2. You're watching the Butler County High School Sports Reports Network.
We'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Performance Toyota, located on Route 4 in Fairfield. Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota. Matandi Steel and Metal Products, a proud sponsor of Baden Athletics. SuccessPhoto.com. providing memorable images of Butler County's high school student athletes. C3 Contracting, pole barns and garages built by C3 Contracting. Call 513-519-4656 today for a complimentary quote on your next building product, serving all of Butler County. Minix Drive-Thru, providing speedy, convenient service throughout many locations in Butler County. Minix Drive-Thru. Bird's Grill and Bar, located in Fairfields Village Green, our Fan of the Day sponsor. And Rick's Tavern and Grill, located on Route 4, our Performer of the Week gift certificate sponsor.
Welcome back to New Miami, where it is Lockland 16-2. And Sierra Ivy's got 2 of the New Miami points. A quick jump ball out of the break, and that's going to be New Miami with the possession. I want to thank Matt Vogt for the killer camera work. Shot by Bowling's off the mark. A long-range three-pointer. She was trying to go to the bank with that one. But out of bounds, and New Miami's going to regain possession. Here comes Roundtree pushing it for Lockland. Roundtree shot. Rebound by Asia Warmack. And that's going to stay right here for Lockland. New Miami Athletic Director Eric Hayes hooking it up with the Mountain Dew. And they're going to catch Roundtree with a travel there. Bowling's pass a little too high for Jesse Trent. They're going to call that a three-pointer by Jasmine Roberts? No, they're going to say she was on the line. That was a nice shot. Walks in the other direction, and Roundtree tries a little bit of a reverse up and under, and that barely clips the rim, and Lockland's going to stay with the possession on a jump ball. In comes Ariel Scalf. Out goes Sierra Ivy for New Miami. Bone looking to push it. Toss on over to number 12. Ariel Scalf. She tosses up a three. No good. Costanza drives to the lane and she gets fouled. She'll go to the line for 2. Costanza's already hit 2 free throws. She's 2 for 2 on the day. First shot's no good. Checking in for New Miami's Lexi Field. And checking in for Lockland is Ian Cunningham. And the second one's good. 19-2. 6:17 left to go in the second quarter. We've got new Miami coach Jesse Hubbard joining us at halftime. Look forward to talking to him after an impressive Vikings football team performance. And a three by Caitlin Boland gives New Miami 5. It's 19-5. Lockland. Under 6 minutes to play here in the second quarter if you're just tuning in. New Miami playing a 2-1-2 zone there. New Miami looking to get themselves a little run going. And Caitlin Bowen trying to make something happen for New Miami. That three was in and out. And Matt behind me, Matt Vogt, the cameraman behind me. The bank is open for New Miami. Cunningham, a little juke and jive, drives to the hoop, gets fouled, and she'll go to the line for two. Lexi Field hit with her second personal foul. That's the New Miami Vikings' 7th foul of this game. Cunningham's first shot of 2 is good. And the second one is in. Those of you tuning in, New Miami looking to get a little something going on. Bowling just hit a three-pointer for New Miami to give them their 5th point. And we're looking at Lockland 21-5. Drive to the hoop is Roundtree. Roundtree getting some good looks at the basket. And she was fouled by Bowling. That's Bowling's 3rd personal foul of this contest. That's one person that you would not want New Miami to foul out, as Bowling does the bulk of the shooting for New Miami. First shot for Roundtree is off the mark. And checking in for New Miami is number 11, Kirsten Taylor, and number 1, Lexi Bell. New Miami fan base behind us, rattling the bleachers. The Viking contingent getting pumped up and rallied for these Vikings. Ariel Scalp drive to the hoop. And Lockland back the other way. Yeah, I think Lockland was looking for a jump ball, but they're saying Jasmine Roberts was a little too forceful there on the defense, and she's called with her first personal foul of this contest. Lexi Field, a nice 14-foot jumper behind the free throw line, and that's off the backboard, and here comes Lockland. Nice drive! Cunningham, she gets herself 2 more points. We'll hit you up with all the halftime stats here once halftime gets Kirsten Taylor's 3-point shot, but she gets a steal, tosses it up, and that hits the backboard. Nice little defensive play by Kirsten Taylor. New Miami looking for that defensive spark there. It's 23-5. Lockland up on top of New Miami. And we've got a New Miami player down there. We're going to go ahead and take a break as she's being attended to. You're watching the Butler County High School Sports Reports Network.
We'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Performance Toyota, located on Route 4 in Fairfield. Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota. Matandi Steel Metal Products, a proud sponsor of Baden Athletics. SuccessPhoto.com, providing memorable images of Butler County's high school student athletes. C3 Contracting, pole barns and garages built by C3 Contracting. Call 513-519-4656 today for a complimentary quote on your next building product, serving all of Butler County. Minix Drive-Thru, providing speedy, convenient service throughout many locations in Butler County. Minix Drive-Thru. Bird's Grill and Bar, located in Fairfield's Village Green, our Fan of the Day sponsor. And Rick's Tavern and Grill, located on Route 4, our Performer of the Week gift certificate sponsor.
Hey, this is Joey Vogt for The Report. One thing we strive to do here at The Report is recognize the local high school student athletes and their accomplishments to the best of our abilities, which is the reason why we partnered up with Performance Toyota and Rick's Tavern to crown a Performer of the Week. We choose a student athlete from each of our coverage area schools from any sports and let family, friends, and your school vote in the Report's Performer of the Week poll on our website. Tell us who you think should be in our Performer of the Week poll, and most importantly, enjoy the rest of the broadcast.
New Miami's Lexi Field helped off the court. I hope that she's doing okay. She's got an ice bag on her wrist. Looks like she hit the floor pretty hard there on a loose ball scrum. Costanzo at the line for two. She dropped the first one, and she hits the second one. 25-5. Lockland up on top of New Miami. Lexi Bell pressured, dishes it off to number 12, Aria Scalf, and she can't quite drop that one into the hoop. Here comes Lockland. 21, Jasmine Roberts hits a baby jumper, and it's 27-5, Lockland. Steal by Lexi Bell. Lexi Bell, and that's a block. That was a nice block by Aria Scalf. New Miami doing as much as they can to muster up some pressure there. Scalf tries to fit it inside there, but it's knocked away, and here comes Lockland on some transition here. Aria Scalf with another block. And they're going to call that a jump ball. Reaching 2:45 left to play here in the second quarter. Checking in for New Miami is Caitlin Bolin. Checking in for Lockland is Ashanti Myers. Lockland setting it up. And that's going to be a foul on New Miami's Aria Scalf. And that's going to be double bonus, and that's Scalf's second personal foul. Double bonus for Lockland. First shot for Roundtree is in and out. And checking in for New Miami is Abby Kalash. Out goes Kirsten Taylor. Kirsten Taylor providing a little bit of offense, or pardon me, some defensive firepower there. A couple steals. Roundtree drops one in. Jump ball, and looks like Lockland's got that possession arrow, and they're going to push it back the other direction. And that's a steal by Jesse Trent, and here comes New Miami back the other direction. Caitlin Boland caught with the travel there. Tia Costanzo putting on the pressure for Lockland. And Charles Boland's going to call a timeout for Lockland. We'll call a timeout ourselves. Stay right with us. You're watching the Butler County High School Sports Reports Network.
We'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Performance Toyota, located on Route 4 in Fairfield. Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota. Matandi Steel Metal Products, a proud sponsor of Baden Athletics. SuccessPhoto.com, providing memorable images of Butler County's high school student athletes. C3 Contracting, pole barns and garages built by C3 Contracting. Call 513-519-4656 today for a complimentary quote on your next building project, serving all of Butler County. Minix Drive-Thru, providing speedy, convenient service throughout many locations in Butler County. Minix Drive-Thru. Bird's Grill and Bar, located in Fairfield's Village Green. Our fan of the day.
Out of the timeout there, Lockland up 28-5 on New Miami. And New Miami boxing out, gets the rebound. And that's Lexi Bell bringing her up. Hits number 22, Caitlin Boland, whose shot's off the mark, and it's going to head back Lockland's direction. 1:22 left to play here in this second quarter. Looking forward to chatting with New Miami football coach Jesse Hubbard here at the halftime break. Costanza shot off the mark, and we're going to stay right here. Nice drive to the hoop with Costanzo. And they're going to get number 40, Ashanti Myers, on a 3-second violation before that shot went up. Beautiful drive by Roundtree. Shot from the outside by Caitlin Bowling. Just hits the back of the iron and bounces off there. Jump stop by Roundtree. And that's out of bounds. I think that was off of a New Miami player, and that's going to stay right here. Jump ball going New Miami's direction. Lexi Bell putting the defensive pressure inside the paint for New Miami. New Miami looking to close out the first half. And Lexi Bell trying to put a screen there for Caitlin Bowling, and unfortunately she had her arms up. I think that's what the call was. Lexi Bell's arms were not set in proper form. Winding down in the second quarter. Looks like Lockland's going to, well, nice drive by number 22, Costanzo. And here comes New Miami back the other way. Caitlin Bowen driving to the right side, and that's out of bounds. Staying right here. 10 ticks left to go in this first half. Caitlin Bowen has 3 points for New Miami. Sierra Ivy has 2. Those 2 free throws. Stepped out of bounds with Aria Scalf, and that's going to give Lockland an opportunity to put a couple more points on the board as this first half winds down. Roundtree shot, and that's off the mark. That's going to take us to the halftime break. 28-5, Lockland up on top of New Miami. We'll be right back with Jesse Hubbard, New Miami football coach.
We'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Performance Toyota, located on Route 4 in Fairfield. Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota. Matandi Steel Metal Products, a proud sponsor of Baden Athletics. SuccessPhoto.com, providing memorable images of Butler County's high school student athletes. C3 Contracting, pole barns and garages built by C3 Contracting. Call 513-519-4656 today for a complimentary quote on your next building product, serving all of Butler County. Minix Drive-Thru, providing speedy, convenient service throughout many locations in Butler County. Minix Drive-Thru. Bird's Grill and Bar, located in Fairfield's Village Green, our Fan of the Day sponsor. And Rick's Tavern and Grill, located on Route 4, our Performer of the Week gift certificate sponsor.
Hey, this is Joey Vogt for The Report. One thing we strive to do here at The Report is recognize the local high school student athletes and their accomplishments to the best of our abilities, which is the reason why we partnered up with Performance Toyota and Rick's Tavern to crown a Performer of the Week. We choose a student athlete from each of our coverage area schools from any sports and let family, friends, and your school vote in the Report's Performer of the Week poll on our website. Tell us who you think should be in our Performer of the Week poll, and most importantly, enjoy the rest of the broadcast.
Welcome back to New Miami. It is 28-5, Lockland up on top of the New Miami Vikings. I'm joined with New Miami football coach Jesse Hubbard. Jesse, I tell you what, it's fantastic to watch your guys' football program get to where they were at this past season. Talk about from square one, from day one. Talk about what it was like just to watch that program go from day one to what you were able to see in the playoffs.
Well, the bottom line, it comes down to the players. The kids, when we got here, like I've said, a dozen times now, they bought in, and with them doing that, it made our job so much easier. And once they realized that winning is fun, but you just don't win. You have to actually work. You have to put weight room. You have to fundamentals, and it's a year-round sport now. And once the kids realize that hard work pays off, and with winning comes like good records, playoffs, league championships, and recruiters coming through the door now, and so the program from when we got it to where it's at now is it's healthy. And it's a word I like to choose, but but it all comes back to the kids. The kids actually, they do everything we ask them to do, and very fortunate, because they are a great group of kids.
For sure.
And I got to give my coaching staff a lot of credit. We got hired late when I first got the job, so I had to really scratch just to get a team or a staff together. And last year we made some changes, and I've got a really good staff now, a lot of experience between my Uncle Ben and my cousin Rocky. There's 100 years of football experience,
right?
And they're great. They're great to work with, and the kids love them, and I have Michael Pressler, who's a young coach, but he's my defensive coordinator, and I think we average giving up, other than the playoff game, 11 points a game. So, he did a great job, and we've added a couple guys on this year, Brad Gunkel and Andrew Pressler, who are just phenomenal guys, and they're here for the kids. I mean, they do a lot for these kids behind the scenes, and of course my offensive line coach is Ken Ritchie, who's been with me for years now, and it's just a good nucleus right now, and I think these kids see that if they do what they're supposed to do, and they stick to the fundamentals, they stick to the basics, and they work hard, that good things will happen, and because we game plan and we watch a lot of film, and the kids see that. They come in here, we're in here watching film. On Saturdays they see us watching film,
yep.
And next thing you know, you have 4 or 5 of them sitting next to you. Then they get interested in it. And it's really neat experience right now, and like I said, winning creates that.
For sure.
And I'm just happy for this. The senior group's going out now. Before we got here, they had won 4 games. And on their way out now they won 17. So that's where I really enjoy the fact those kids got to go out on a high note. And I'm just blessed right now. I really am.
Well, starting from day one, did you see a season like this transpiring as it was going on?
No. We were my offensive line was young. I mean, we graduated 4 seniors off the offensive line. So I knew that our skill guys were good. So I just thought that we'd have growing pains, be behind the 8 ball a little bit, and but they come together, and we got to be 5 or 6-0. I started looking at the rest of our schedule, and I'm like,
we could do this.
Yeah, when we got something special going, and and like I said, the more we won, the hungrier the kids got. The practice was no longer practice. They wanted to come. They wanted to get better. They wanted to learn. And we have a group chat, amongst, just basically myself and the players, a good communication, and I'm getting messages at midnight, 1 o'clock, it's strictly football, hey coach, what do you think about this? What do you think we can do this? And, that to me, these kids could be doing 1,000 other things, but they're talking to me at midnight about football, so it's kind of neat, it really is,
Well, playoff time came. There's a lot of buzz with the new Miami that hadn't been seen, and maybe at all, or maybe to this extent. Talk about how the kids were able to embrace that atmosphere, and for them to have the opportunity to play in a game against New Bremen.
Right. They, first off, it was the community. They stepped up. There's no words to explain what the community did, and but they were starving for this. They needed this, And when the time come, the community stepped up, the booster stepped up, the administration stepped up, and it was a great experience, you know. And the kids, they were excited, but I think at a time they were a little overwhelmed. You know, when they look up and see 3,000 people in the stands,
for sure,
you know,
right?
They had that deer.
I was overwhelmed,
right? They had a deer in the headlight look, you know, and you know, but you know, I mean, for the most part, you know, I just think that this is something that these kids will remember the rest of their lives. You know, it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. You know, of course, you know, New Bremen is an awesome football team, and you know, but at the end of the day, our kids, you know, regardless what the score was that game, our kids played hard. They didn't quit. You know, and just like when we played Fort Laramie with the same outcome, it's pushing our kids to where we have to be. If we're going to compete with those schools, we have got to get stronger. You know, I mean, we've got to get a year's worth of workouts in, you know, and that's not just from, you know, the kids who don't play. I mean, our basketball players have got to lift, our baseball players have got to lift, you know, and that's just the way it's got to be. So I look at it as and a lot of the seniors coming, my junior class are coming up, they're hungry. I mean, they this 2 years in a row now that we've gotten, you know, handled pretty easily in the playoffs, and they're hungry, you know, and I'm excited. I really am.
Well, when you're saying you're getting text messages at midnight during the off season, it sounds like they're ready to go next season.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, and I don't have them starting weights until January 6th. I just wait till after the holidays are over, and but they're in the weight room right now. Right. You know, and it's not even mandatory. You know, so that says a lot about their character, and I do think that loss stung a little bit. You know, we were 10-0, and you know, don't get me wrong. I mean, we thought we could play a little better with New Bremen, you know, but it was eye opener, and you know, I think it stung a little bit, and I think the kids are, you know, anxious to get back at it.
Well, and Jesse, I was going to say, sometimes a loss like that can mean a lot. Can give your program a little bit of a different mindset on how to react. You know,
right.
The next day.
Right.
You know, how did the kids embrace that loss after the agreement?
Of course they were upset, you know.
Sure, absolutely.
You know, because they felt like they let the community down. You know, to have the community step up like they did and have, you know, 3,000 people there, them losing that way, a lot of them had that, you know, because these New Miami kids, they bleed green. You know, I mean, they care about this community, they care about the village, and they felt like they let them down. So I think that this junior class, I'll have 12 seniors next year, and I just think that.
I bet that makes you excited.
Oh, very excited. You know, but you know, I just think that they're not going to let the community down again. I think that this is their goal to get a playoff win. You know, I really do, and they have the capability to do it. I mean, we have a lot of talent coming back, so. You know, I really thought last year what you said was a rebuilding year, and then, you know, 2020 would be the year, but it's the exact, I mean, we should be very good next year.
You know, Jesse, I was talking to Austin Hart, he's one of your offensive your linemen, and he said there was no worry about that offensive line. And I think that was one of the things that people were questioning, was how was that offensive line going to provide Robinettes a little bit of space for some playmaking. Your DeAndre Duncan. How was that offensive line surprising to you in a sense?
They just, like I said, they grew up really fast, and I had huge worries, but they battled, you know, and they're grinders. They're New Miami kids, you know. They're going to line up and they're going to hit you, you know, and. You know, as an offensive lineman, if they kind of got that attitude, you know, everything else will come in, and they did. They played hard. They played extremely hard, and a lot of them went two ways, you know, so they went straight from blocking to tackling, you know, but, you know, it's Division 7 football.
Right.
You know, and, you know, one thing I do got to say about our kids, they got to see, and I'm going to talk about New Bremen for a second, they got to see what a really, really good football program looks like. The class that they had, the way their players, they would tackle you, help you up, get back in the huddle, and do it the next play.
It's like they've been there before. Exactly.
There was no talking. It was a very disciplined football team, and I think our kids seen where we have to get to from that New Bremen loss, and I just think it's, you know, it's a work in progress, but I think our kids are hungry now, and and I'm excited to get back to it. I really am. I wish football was year round, of course.
But
but
well, we need to get Eric Hayes to build an indoor arena here.
Absolutely. But you got to give your credit to like girls basketball, for example. These girls could be out doing 1,000 different things, but they're here, playing a team sport, trying to get better, and it's just like, kids these days are so many distractions, with social media and doing the wrong thing. That's why I love seeing this. I love seeing, different sports, and it's important. It truly is, and if you talk to a lot of the successful athletic directors, when your athletics are doing good in the school does good. Their GPAs go up, attendance goes up, and just the school spirit. So, this is great right now, so.
Well, going back to the regular season, Jesse, talk about the play, the connection that Deonza Duncan and Trey Robinette had.
It was.
And they still have. They'll have it next year.
It was one of them things where, we were toying on where to play Deonza at the beginning of the season. We didn't know if he was a running back, and we watched him run. I'll never forget it. It was during two-a-days. We come to run a 10-yard out, and most kids who never ran a 10-yard out will round it off. Or he ran a route like he'd been playing football his entire life, and Coach Rock Hubbard looked at me and he goes, "Oh my God!" And I was like, "Well, we have something." I said, "We had better use him." And him and Trey worked. I mean, they did. They got together before practice, after practice, and they worked and they worked and they worked, and boy, did it pay off. I mean, there was times when we needed to score or even keep the ball a little longer rather than punt, and Trey and Deonza, they would make their little hand signals to each other, and what was supposed to be a fade turns into a dig, and it was really neat. I mean, and they're both great kids, and they're both very intelligent. Deonza, for never playing football, he grasps the game really quick, the X's and O's, and how people play, soft coverage, press man, and he was all over it, and Trey could be a coach right now. Trey could be a high school football coach tomorrow. He's so smart. I mean, wow. And it makes me look good, because I'll call a play, and he's like, "Coach, you can't run out of that formation." He'll correct me in the middle of the game, But,
how important is that to have on the field?
It's unbelievable. I mean, and the trust we have in him, that goes a long way too, And we audible. We let him get to the line of scrimmage, and we're supposed to run a play to, a three-tech side, and the three-tech's on the other side. He can audible out of it and run a play to the other side. And to have a kid that can be able to do that is amazing. It makes our offense so much better. And, and the kids, they look up to Trey, but Trey being a leader, but Trey's also that best friend of everybody. You know what I mean? He's got a really neat relationship with everybody. And
I can see that. I can see that with him.
And then of course his brother. For 160 pounds is tough. I mean, that kid is unbelievable. And we lost him late in the season to an ankle injury. And then Danny Spivey stepped in for us, and was glad to get him back after a collarbone injury. And he's being recruited by a lot of schools right now, which is very, because Danny's a great student, and there's probably been 7 colleges in the last 2 weeks coming in to talk to Danny.
Wow.
But but that's just that's what winning does to a program. And now these younger kids see these college recruiters walking through the door. It makes them want to get in the weight room,
right.
And it makes them want to follow suit. What's Danny doing that I need to do?
Right. And
it just helps us as a coaching staff tremendously by the leadership we have. And in this upcoming year, Dylan Spivey, Danny's cousin, is our fullback and middle linebacker, 2-time MVC Player of the Year on defense. The leadership that we have coming up is second to none. I mean, they are good leaders. They can be rough, but then again, they can love you up too. And the kids they respond and they accept everything these guys tell them. So I'm blessed. I truly am with a group of kids.
You had mentioned the Spiveys. I saw their name a lot in terms of Dylan as a running back.
Yes. Yeah.
How cool is that to have a sort of I wouldn't say somebody who would jump in for Jordan because he was injured, but I saw that Dylan kind of made himself a little bit of a name for himself in that backfield.
Well, we went to Dylan when first of all when Danny went down. Danny was running back along with Jordan, and Dylan was our fullback. Well, when Danny went down with a collarbone injury, we basically called Dylan's number. We told him that hey, you got to step up. I mean, it's your time now. I mean, and he's a big, strong kid. He's 5'10", 200 pounds, and is quick, and he accepted it. I mean, he wanted it, and we started handing him the ball, and next thing you know, he's breaking runs, and which that allows Jordan Robinette to make his wide runs outside and off tackle, and it just opened everything up, and but those two, Dylan and Danny, were fun to coach, and I'm glad I got another year with Dylan,
right.
But just a great kids all the way around, and we have family everywhere. We have Dylan and Danny Spivey, and then we have Jordan and Trey Robinette, and then we have Austin and Blake Hart. So it's just the
family affair.
Absolutely, and they push each other. They really do. It's almost like a family rivalry. If one of them in pulling their weight, they let each other know about
right.
it. And that's really neat too. So.
And that's one of those things where it probably allows you to say, hey, I'm going to enjoy this as a coach because they're basically doing their job for you.
They police each other. They really do. They police each other, and we have just a good core of kids, and then the guys I've already mentioned. Then you have Blake Hart, who is Austin's younger brother, but a bigger brother. Austin's a man child. He got first team all league, the first time, and so that's provoked him into. I mean, all he wants. He didn't play basketball. He's regularly a basketball player. He said, I want to lift weights. I want to get ready for football this year, So,
wow.
You know what I mean? We have a couple other guys, Donovan Howard, he should get more, I guess, accolades in what he does. But he's just one of them kids. He's quiet. He plays corner and strong safety. He filled in at running back a little bit last year. And the kid is just, he's a nightmare on defense. He's a hitter, but he never says a word. He just shakes his head yes and no, and very respectful. But it's guys like that who don't see their name in the paper,
right.
that are Blake and Donovan and Tug Jones and Nate Civarella. They play such a huge role in our team. They just they're just not in the paper like Danny and Dylan and Jordan and Trey, which is bad. Because they do deserve it. Those guys, when they come to practice, they make our guys so much better because they go 100% in practice because they're wanting to make a name for themselves. They're wanting to work to get to that level. Just that supporting cast that we have is phenomenal right now, and they're all young. I have all them back. Tug and Nate Civarella are only sophomores right now, so and they both played huge role. Tug stepped in. Tug Jones played this year. He played tight end. He played guard. He played quarterback. He played fullback. And on defense, he played linebacker and D-line. So
utility man.
Yeah,
utility man.
And never complained one time about having to play a different position. He just yes sir, no sir, and he goes on his way. And Nate Civarella, who's a sophomore, those are my twins. They act just alike. And Nate was the same way. Nate has played fullback. He's played tight end. He's played linebacker, D-line. Some outside linebacker. They just want to fill their roles and make sure that the team's winning and successful. So I could go down my whole roster. I really could of what kids, how they contribute, and it's really neat. It really is.
For sure.
But next year, we're Division 7. I lose Trey the first play of the game next year. We go from a 8-2, 9-1, 10-0 team to maybe 5-5. So every practice you got to be strategic on how physical you are.
Right.
Every scrimmage you got to say, well, how long do I keep my ones in?
Right.
And even during the season, when you get up by 3 scores, you're rolling the dice. You know what I mean?
Right.
And this year we had 7 running clocks. And the part that's difficult is, my ones, they want to get their stats. for league honors and stuff. Well, when we're only playing 2 quarters,
it's hard to do.
It is very hard. But then again, it's not worth, and they wouldn't trade it either. But it's not worth them getting hurt. When we're up 31-6 or something. And but it's Division 7 football. It's roulette. I mean, it really is. You're just all this gray hair. Every time we call a design run with Trey at quarterback, you just go, oh God, you're just, and that's what I'm saying. All this gray hair comes from every call, But I'll tell you what, though, this school, once they seen the kids were excited, and I'm talking about the student body as well. This school has changed tremendously when it comes to athletics. I mean, when you walk around the school hall or the hallways now, kids are wearing new Miami football shirts. And when I first got here, and it's nothing against Coach Singleton or the people before me, but I'm just saying that it was non-existent. And now the kids are excited. They're wearing green stuff, and it's now our basketball team is just. I mean, they're going to be in Dayton again.
Yep.
Barring something crazy happening, and but. It's just the buzz in the high school right now is great, and that's administration too. The teachers are just excited. The kids are.
That's good.
So it's just a good time in New Miami right now. And I see it continuing for a while. So.
I'm chatting with New Miami football coach Jesse Hubbard. New Miami is trailing Lockland 32-9. Jesse, I'm going to dive some more into this past season. One of the funny things that I was kind of, I always gave Trey Robinette a little bit of grief about his extra point and field goal kicking.
Oh my God! look, here's the thing. As a football coach, you want to pride yourself on the 3 phases of football: offense, defense, and special teams.
Right.
Well, that phase of our special teams, I should have been fired. I really should have, because we were so pathetic at it. And it started with the line. It really wasn't Trey's fault.
Right.
Well, it started with the line. Okay, so we had to basically talk to them like they were a bunch of first graders. Here's how you do this. You can't take for granted that they know, So,
right.
So we get the front line right. Well, my holder, who's Jordan Robinette, has a sweating problem. He failed to tell us that, So here we are in August and September, and he just ran the ball 12 times in a drive, and his hands are sweaty, and he can't catch the ball and sit on a tee.
Right.
So they're coming to signs arguing with each other. Trey's like, he didn't put the tee, he didn't get the hold down, and Jordan's like, yeah, I did. And then you watch film, no, you didn't. So then we had to find a new holder. So we find a new holder, and then we had a couple games where Trey went, important games where he was 7 for 7 in one game.
It was a Miami Valley that was the game we broadcast, and I was so excited to see that.
Right, and up to that point, I was embarrassed. I truly was. I told the referees they would ask you for the game, do you kick extra points? You go for 2. I said, well, we should go for 2, because when you see us kick, you're not going to recognize anything that resembles an extra point, and they would just laugh at us, and when we would shank one or get blocked, they'd look over at me and just giggle, I was like, I told you, I said, we go by 6s, we don't go by 7s,
Well, and I was going to say, Jesse, I mean, strategically, ideally, you would want to go for that extra point, but hey, right. I'm all about for an extra point if you're going to go for 2 on that one.
I know, and and
don't let me change your mind.
Well, and I'm just one of them guys where with the playmakers we have, we could have went for 2 and been pretty successful, but I'm just so dang stubborn, I mean that I'm that kind of coach that perfection is never going to happen, but can we at least 60%, can we, and I just refuse to take the easy, that no, we're going to do this,
right?
And I kept telling them to practice, and we worked on it and worked on it and worked on it, and then it did pay off a little bit towards the end of the season. They did get better,
well,
but it didn't. But you're right though. That was,
I didn't bring it up to do any form of criticism.
No, but a couple of the Edgewood people that I'm really good friends with, they start coming to the games later in the season. and I couldn't go anywhere without them talking about it. That's the first thing they would say is, hey, your offense looks good, but what is wrong with your extra point? I said, I don't even want to talk about it. I said, I need therapy after it. So.
Well, and
yeah.
I mean, on a serious note, it would be ideal to get those perfected because you never know. You could be down 2, and you may want that 30-yard field goal to work.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah. And next year we do have a. He was a freshman this year, and he transferred from Edgewood, and he's played soccer his entire life and football both. And we're in week 8 or whatever, and Trey's kicking extra points, and we're going from a hash to middle of the field, and he's about 500. Well, all of a sudden this little freshman just like, hey coach, I can kick. And I'm like, Emmerich, come on. And I'm telling you, man, so next year it may not be an issue at all. He was dead on, and I'm like, where have you been the entire season, But, so he started doing punt. He was our punter later in the year, so next year he's going to be our extra point guy.
Nice.
And that way Trey can hold, and that opens up, our fakes and stuff. But, hopefully it'll be a little different next year, so.
How was it to see, from a coaching standpoint, how cool was it to see your team play like they did this past season? Honestly, from a coach's standpoint, how neat is that?
It's very neat, but I'm that guy. I see so many mistakes still, and there are games, yes, we won, but I'm breaking down film Saturday morning, and by the second drive, I'm throwing staplers in my office, and it's just I just think as a coach you can't be satisfied with just, you have to see where you can get better every week, and show your kids when you actually take the time and visual aid, there's nothing like it. When you show the kids, look, yeah, we gained 5 yards here, but if you would have blocked this guy instead of the guy you did block who was wrong, we would have scored. Mm-hmm. And against good teams, New Bremen, you've got to be able to execute and do things flawlessly to beat teams like that.
Right.
And and that's where my wife will laugh at me a lot. She says, you are just way too hard. I was like, well, you almost got to be though. You really do. I'm sure. There's every other, Coach Krause at Fairfield. Coach Clemens. I'm sure they're the exact same way. That they look for the things that, yeah, you won, 42-6. But here's where we got to fix. This is what we got to fix. And I think if you're just happy, I think you're setting yourself up for failure. Right. I really do. And we did. I mean, when we got to New Bremen, we had a couple breakdowns early. And when you play a team like that, a breakdown that you may have got off earlier, a team like that, I mean, you got a linebacker in the backfield.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. And, that's just, like I said, it was a learning experience. Too bad it's got to be 2 years in a row. But, I just hope we can work through it, I think.
Going back to the Bremen contest, and I know it may be hitting the heart a little bit, right now, but when when Trey Robinette connected with DeAndre Duncan on that touchdown pass,
right,
you were like, all right.
Absolutely.
Let's go, and that pulled you guys to within 14-7.
And we actually recovered a fumble on the next possession.
You did.
So, lo and behold, we get the ball back down 14-7, and Trey opened up the wrong way.
Right.
We were running a belly play, and he opened up the wrong way, and looked around and was there. Well, in our offense, not with Deion's, it's better, but in our offense, if you've got to stay in front of the chains. You can't be 2nd and 13. Especially against New Bremen.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. He opened the wrong way, so he had to eat the ball. So instead of being 1st and 10 at the 40, now it's 2nd 13. And against New Bremen, you're not going to make up that yardage. And they knew what they were doing. They knew that if they put somebody in Trey's face, the only way we get the ball to DeAndre from that point on is quick. Mm-hmm. Get it to him right now. Right. And we attempted to. And New Bremen, they tackle so well, and my hats off to their coaching staff. They're very well coached. I mean, they were very prepared for what we were doing, and I still think I blame myself for that. I think defensively we could have schemed a little better. I really do. and it's no offense, and I don't mean to talk bad about New Bremen by any means, but on film, I really thought that, you know, like with Fort Laramie the year before, when I seen Fort Laramie on film, I was like, oh Lord, you know, we are in big trouble. But when I watched New Bremen on film, I'm like, okay, well, we can do this. We can play with this team. But man, you know, when it come live and in living color, they were a team.
Right.
I mean, they were physical, they were big, well coached, and like I said, a very classy football team. And you know, it's just a lesson learned. But when we were, you know, when you got the ball down 14-7, and you know the team, and I'm not saying anything derogatory about my team, but that team is better than us. We were going to have to play perfect football to beat them, you know, and we get the ball, you know, down 14-7, and you go to 2nd and 13 right away. You're like, oh Lord,
right?
You know, and then I think the next play we fumbled, you know, and next thing you know, so I'm still thinking, all right, if we go in at half 21-7, we'll make a couple adjustments defensively that we had to make, you know, and next thing you know, it was 28.
Boom, right?
Yeah, you know, and it's just, you know, but you know, even at halftime, our team leaders tried to step up, and you know, and the message was, you know, look, we're new Miami kids, we're not going to quit, you know, we're going to play, you know, the option, you know, there is no option of quitting, you know, and that was pretty neat, you know, to see that take place, and it got heated though. I had some choice words for a couple kids who, you know, and my choice words aren't what you would
imagine.
Yeah, but they are more on the lines of, you know, look, you've done this the entire year perfectly. Why now are you opting not to do your job? You know, and I you know, when you look at a 16-year-old kid and you kind of call him on a carpet in front of his teammates, you know, you're going to see a kid he's either going to fold or you're going to rise up. And you know, these new Miami kids, you know, in the second half we played better. You know, defensively we had some stops, you know, and you know, we moved the ball a little bit better, but you know, they didn't quit, and that was huge. You know, and that grows into this coming year.
Yep. That was the thing I was going to attack next, Jesse, is that what these kids saw this past year, and even the year before, because you've got a young program, it's got to make the kids want to say, hey, even though we went 10-0 in the regular season, like you said, we could still get better.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's room to get better every single day.
No doubt about it. And here's the really neat part. This happened this morning. Two of my guys stopped in the office, and they were like, hey, Coach, why can't we schedule a New Bremen or Fort Laramie like week 1 or week 2? You know, to where we can see where we're at. You know, I'm not taking nothing away from the teams we played. You know, but they're actually wanting that. They wanna go out there and maybe get thrown around a little bit, maybe get beat up a little bit, and I thought that was pretty neat. I thought that was a football team that's wanting to get better. Because,
could it happen?
We're gonna look at some things. We really are, you know, and I just think that, you know, you get a team early, you know, and a very good football team, and either they beat you up pretty good, but it's also, you know, I honestly think these kids would rather go 9-1 or 8-2 and play a couple teams like that, to where when we do get in the playoffs, it's not something new. You know, they've seen it already. And I think that's what happened this year. New Bremen, did you notice the teams they lost to all won state championships?
Right.
You know what I mean? They were all state champs, so you know, that was just a bad draw. I mean, it really was. You know, and
yeah, I was going to say, talk about that division, that New Bremen. I mean, you're ideally looking at a division of 6 teams that could be in the actual playoffs.
Oh my
in
God.
This region,
and they're, I mean, Marion local, say no more. You know, Coldwater, say no more. Minster, say no more. Then you add, you know, St. Henry, you know, year in and year out, and then, you know, New Bremen. I mean, they are. I mean, that whole MAC conference. I mean, I mean, not only is it the best in Ohio, that might be the best small division conference, maybe in the country. I mean, because I would put them up against. I would take Marion local right now, and I guarantee they would give every Division II and every Division III team everything they want.
Right.
You know, and you know, and look at New Bremen. If New Bremen, you know, was down in Southern Ohio, they could compete in the SWAC. You know, they could compete, you know, in leagues like that. You know, would they go 7-3? I don't know, but they would give those teams a run. And you know, that conference, and the thing where they are so far ahead of everybody else is this: they have kids. I have 36, and I got to scrape the hallways to get 36 kids. They get off the bus with 70. You know, Fort Laramie got off the bus with, I think, 68. And then you look at Marion Local's team, they had 80 kids.
Wow.
You know, so you're talking about in Division 7, you actually got a separate kickoff team. So when your offense scores, your offense goes off and rest, and you get 11 new guys on the field. Well, in my case, you know, my offense scores, my same 11 are going back, and they're going to kick off and have to sprint 50 yards, you know. But they are so far ahead of everybody else because of their numbers, and they're so well coached up there. Those coaches are phenomenal.
You saw a rise in attendance in terms of football participation as well.
Oh, big time.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully we'll see more of that. Just
Yeah.
the mere fact that you guys are, you know, on the successful end, and I would imagine that will probably persuade some players to say, hey, let's try this out.
And absolutely, and I promised all the kids, I said, if you can get us 40 kids, so we need 4 more. If you can find 4 more kids to play, I'll field us a JV schedule.
There you go.
And that way the young kids who aren't getting to play a lot on Friday nights will get a full game on Saturdays, and boy, you've seen their eyes light up. Especially, you know, the incoming freshmen and the sophomores, or the freshmen this year also.
Right.
I mean, they're looking at, wow. You know, so I'm sure they're going to help us recruit in the hallways as well. You know, so, you know, and getting them to play a JV schedule is huge because, you know, you're asking these freshmen and sophomores to be tackling dummies during the week and get beat on by our varsity and never get a payday.
Right.
You know, unless we get up by 30 and, you know, they get to play late in the game. You know, and that's not right, you know. So for us to get a JV schedule this year, 4 or 5 games for these kids, that would do wonders, you know, for morale. Kids, you know, even the young kids would be excited to come to practice more so than, you know, before.
Well, I think the name of the game is, you want to have fun out there, but when you have fun, ideally you're probably being successful, and hopefully that would probably be one of the selling points in getting those kids out to play.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, when the other kids see 3,000 people show up to a game, when the other kids see kids walking around here with playoff T-shirts on and, you know, league championship T-shirts and seeing people's names in the paper and all over, you know, MVC websites.
Yeah. You
know, the other kids, it's intriguing. You know, they want to be a part of that. And, you know, like I said, my staff is awesome. My staff, you know, and what's really neat, and my staff will treat the worst player on a team the same way they treat the best player on a team. And it's pretty unique. But that's what I demand out of them, though. You know what I mean? And, you know, I think the reason that our kids bought in is because of my staff. You know, because they genuinely care about these kids. And I'm not talking about the sense of giving them a ride home from school or something. I'm talking about the sense of any one of our players can call our coaches anytime, and they can have a conversation they probably couldn't have with their parents. You know, and you know, I couldn't be happier with the group of coaches I have, and that goes a long way nowadays. It really does.
Absolutely.
You know,
well, Jesse, I can't thank you enough for hanging out with us, man.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, we look forward to covering you guys next year, and we look for some of the same old same. It's almost like a trend. You guys are starting a trend, and you guys.
I hope so.
You guys are changing the face of what New Miami Athletics is looking like.
Well, I appreciate that, and I hope we can keep it going. You know, barring no injuries.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Right.
You know, so I'm going to church every Sunday. You know,
saying some prayers.
Yes, I am. So,
saying some prayers.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Jesse, have a great one. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you.
New Miami head football coach Jesse Hubbard. Want to thank him for joining us for a minute or two and talk about this past season, and we wish New Miami the best of luck. 39-11, Lockland up on top of New Miami. And number 24, Abby Collish. And she's going to go to line for 2. Rebound Lockland. That's Jasmine Roberts bringing her down the court. And tosses it over to Cunningham. Cunningham drive to the hoop. Shot, pop, and that's rebounded by 11, Jada Ratliff. And Jada Ratliff gets herself 2 points. 41-11, Lockland up on top of New Miami. Good defensive play by Costanzo. And she's going to get fouled by Sierra Ivy. Costanzo's going to go to the line for 2. Caitlin Boland's first shot is good. And that second shot is rimmed out. Bowling cornered, tosses up a quick 3, and that's in and out. That's a rebound put back by Jada Ratliff. She puts 2 points on the board. And that's a good drive to the hoop by Sierra Ivy. Sierra Ivy puts 2 points on the board for New Miami. Ariel Scalf drive to the hoop, and she's going to go to the line for 2. Scalf couldn't connect with 2 of those free throws. And here comes Lockland back the other way. And that pass to Costanzo was a little bit too high for her reach there, and that goes out of bounds. New Miami regains possession. Reaching the 4-minute mark of this contest, Lockland up on top of New Miami 44-13. And just got done talking to New Miami football coach Jesse Hubbard. The Vikings had quite the successful season, as they did last year. 2 playoff berths, 2 years in a row. Before this year, falling to New Bremen in the regional quarterfinals. Caitlin Bowling tosses it underneath the Scalf. Scalf shot off the rim and trying to put on a little bit of pressure there after the rebound. And Costanza's shot's off the mark. Sierra Ivy's shot just under the rim, and Lockland's going to bring the ball this way. Hitting 3 minutes left to play in this contest. 44-13, Lockland on top of New Miami. If you're just tuning in, And jump ball, and that's going to stay. Actually, that's going to go New Miami's way. And Caitlin Bolin drops in, too, for New Miami. Bolin shot off the mark, but that's rebounded by Kirsten Taylor. She drops in 2 points for the Vikings, and that makes it 44-17. And Abby Kalish with a wicked block. That jump ball is going to stay here for Lockland. And Kalish with another block. Scout shots off the mark, and here comes Lockland on a transition run here, 2-on-1. And Cunningham's lay-in is good. That makes it 46-17 as we're reaching under 2 to play. Underneath to Abby. Abby off the rim. And looks like we're going to head down Lockland's direction as it was tipped out of bounds by Kirsten Taylor. And Jada Ralliff will head to the line for 2. Sinks the first one. Jada's second shot up. And in. (48-17), a minute 30 left to play here in this contest. Three-point shot off the mark from Cunningham, but it's rebounded by Ratliff. And we're going to see a foul on Kylie Wyatt. Double bonus here for the rest of the way for both programs as Jada Ratliff heads to the line. Lane violation on Kylie Wyatt as she smiles and admits that she walked into the lane a little early. Ratliff's second shot is in. Makes it 49-17. As we approach the minute mark, Aria Scalp trying to drive to the lane. Loses control. And that's going to be Lockland's ball. And timeout Lockland. We're going to take a break ourselves. You're watching the Butler County High School Sports Reports Network.
We'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Performance Toyota, located on Route 4 in Fairfield. Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota. Matandi Steel and Metal Products, a proud sponsor of Baden Athletics. SuccessPhoto.com, providing memorable images of Butler County's high school student athletes. C3 Contracting, pole barns and garages built by C3 Contracting. Call 513-519-4656 today for a complimentary quote on your next building product, serving all of Butler County. Minix Drive-Thru, providing speedy, convenient service throughout many locations in Butler County. Minix Drive-Thru. Bird's Grill and Bar, located in Fairfield's Village Green. Our Fan of the Day sponsor. And Rick's Tavern and Grill, located on Route 4. Our Performer of the Week gift certificate sponsor.
We thank you for listening to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Reports YouTube channel. We encourage you to check out our website at www.bchssreport.com for all your local prep sports results, stories, and student-athlete features. Enjoy the rest of the game.
As we wrap up this final minute of play here, Lockland is up on top of New Miami 49-17. Want to thank Athletic Director for New Miami, Eric Hayes, and also want to thank New Miami football coach Jesse Hubbard for joining us at halftime and into the third quarter. Always a pleasure to chat with him. It's always a pleasure to also cover their program, the football program. It's a pretty fun team to watch, as they are going to be next year. Jasmine Roberts with a layup. That makes it 51-17. As we're reaching the 30-second mark of this contest, Scalp drives the lane, and that's good. A little bit of a scrum inside, and that's going to be a jump ball. Staying here with Lockland. Costanzo's going to hit the line for two. First shot, nothing but net. And the second one, nothing but net as well. And here's our final 10 seconds of the contest. Let's see if New Miami can put a couple more points on the board before this final buzzer sounds. Scalp's first shot good. Scalp's second shot hits the back of the iron, caroms off, and here comes the final couple seconds of this contest. And that's going to be it. Lockland takes down New Miami 53-20 Want to thank Matt Vogt, our cameraman, right behind us. Let me go ahead and give him a quick shout out there. And we're also going to thank New Miami Athletic Director Eric Hayes, as well as New Miami football coach Jesse Hubbard. Well, from New Miami, we're going to sign off.